Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, today we're going to be talking about this video as well as a ton of other things around like the SEC, around the gold-backed system, things like that. But I thought this was very interesting, and what is happening around the world is something very, very concerning. We are seeing a major push on digitization of ID. We're seeing a major push on control of monetary policy. Things are spiraling out of control. And we actually do see over here from Pakistan, government has threatened to cut off banking with the use of digital ID to anyone that protests against the regime. Resist. And yeah, I mean, this is the end goal. We've seen this happen many times. We've actually seen this being warned from the World Economic Forum as well. Like, we've read those, documents, those PDF files, where they were talking about full-on digitization and control of monetary policy. Things are happening right now around the world in a very concerning way. And this is also the reason why, like I tell you guys on a day-to-day basis, when we look at CBDCs, I'm in full support of a wholesale CBDC. But when we look at retail CBDCs, that is the concerning thing. Remember, those retail CBDCs are to take full control of your monetary policy. Anything that you transact on a day-to-day basis is fully tracked and traced. And this is a big issue. It cuts off all freedom. They're going to look into everyone's transacting history, and they're going to follow every single trail. This is a big deal, because not only does it cut off all privacy that you have around your money, but they also control the entire system. This is why I've always said, please be cautious with what you wish for in this market. Everyone wants XRP to cover all the money, but what is all the money, worth when, guess what? You're not even in control of your own money. And that is what's happening right now around the banking sector. A lot of individuals are getting cut off from their own bank accounts. And this is an issue. And we actually do see over here, talking more so about things spiraling out of control, the economy. The founder of Chinese telecom giant Huawei is warning of a painful global slowdown and tells the company to brace for survival. Here it comes. In a leaked email intended only for the company's staff, the CEO warned that there might be no bright spot in the world for 3 to 5 years, a very painful historical period. And no, this is not fear-mongering. When we look at what's happening around the world right now, we are technically in a recession, but none of the higher elites around the financial system want to admit this. 2 negative quarters in a row for GDP growth. That is confirmed in regards to a recession, but nobody is admitting it. I wonder why. By around the end of this year, into Q1 or possibly even Q2 of 2023, we will see a full-on confirmed recession here. If you don't hear it from me, if you don't hear it by then, hey, it is all good. But we will see at some point in time a full-on confirmation of this. Why? Because it's statistically factual that 2 GDP negative growth quarters is a confirmed recession. They are covering things up. They are sugarcoating things. And I want you guys to understand this. Also, talking more so about the banking sector. Gold. I've been talking to you guys for a while around the central banks. They are stockpiling massive amounts of gold. The Qatar Central Bank boosts gold reserves to record high. The central bank purchased 14.8 tons of gold last month. Qatar recently reported a 12-fold jump in its budget surplus. The trend continues. Also, remember what I told you guys about the BRICS. They are working on a new international reserve currency. China's net gold imports via Hong Kong jumped to a 9-month high in July. Last week, it was reported Swiss flows to China were 80.1 tons in July, most since 2016. And also, last but not least, electricity prices in Germany has skyrocketed more than 600% in the year to July. And honestly, I'm going to say it right now, even in the US, electricity prices are outrageous right now. I have a 2-bedroom, a 2-bathroom apartment. It is just me and my girlfriend, and we are paying over $300 plus in electricity a month, barely using any of it. Electricity prices are skyrocketing. Inflation is spiraling out of control as well. German private households own around 9,100 tons of gold. They might know something about inflationary spirals. And yes, they're stockpiling gold to hedge against inflation because inflation is out of control. Again, another statistic that is being sugar-coated and hidden. The real numbers are not out there. Do not try to look for them because they are not out there. But we all know, as we are going out to the grocery store, shopping, we're spending money on goods and services. We know that the prices are astronomically inflated. I've seen it day in and day out. I go to the grocery store on a Monday. By next Monday, the same exact items that I purchased are a little bit more expensive. And this has been happening for months now. And things are spiraling out of control. But also, I want to give you guys some good news. Around the SEC, we have been seeing a lot of updates. Empower Oversight is calling for an investigation into the ethics failure at the SEC after records emerged alleging one of its former employees, William Hinman, had a direct financial interest in a law firm while working at the SEC. Interesting. Also, an article came out just yesterday from Forbes. Gary Gensler, resign. I could not agree more. This goes in, it's 5 minutes, but they go in hand with everything happening around the SEC and weaponizing the SEC's war on cryptocurrency by claiming that every digital asset is probably a security as well. Listen, we have been discussing this. The SEC is an absolute disgusting agency that has been showing their true colors. They're here to not bring in, retail security. They don't want to protect you or me. They are here to try to kill this digital asset class because they are terrified of what it could do for the banking sector. We are going after a monopoly of a system that has been in play for years on top of years. And now we are seeing the SEC grossly overreaching with its power into crypto and trying to kill this asset class before it even blossoms into what it truly is. The problem here is that there is no insights. There is nothing to follow in regards to guidelines around these crypto companies. We need something to end. And I do believe that this is coming to an end. The SEC's reign around crypto needs to be stopped. And I do think that it's articles like this from Forbes and also little agencies like Empower Oversight, because remember, this is a smaller, this isn't even like an agency. They're more so, I guess they are like a investigation agency, but they have been doing a lot of good around this case going back as far as like December from what I remember, but it might be even a little bit longer before that, but they have been doing incredible work around this case, really kind of, bringing a spotlight to the corruption around the SEC. And I think that it's the small guys like this that could ultimately cost the big guys, that's right, the SEC, their entire reputation. And also, don't forget that we've been seeing a lot of updates around this. Mark Cuban just recently slammed the SEC's chair Gensler's stance on crypto as well, because we don't have any guidelines around crypto. All we do see is talks about it. Hey, yeah, you need to follow the guidelines, but there is none. There is nothing transparent around the SEC in regards to regulations within crypto. This is a big issue, and it needs to be stopped. It needs to be completely stopped because innovation is being stifled on a daily basis now. Also, remember that just recently, this goes back 2 days ago, the SEC's chair, Gary Gensler, singles out crypto lenders, says platforms do not comply with regulations. Again, another gross overstep in regards to their boundaries. And we actually do see down here, we could dispense with the idea that crypto lending isn't subject to regulation. On the contrary, the rules have been around for decades. What rules? Please show us the rules around this, because this asset class is not, an asset class that could be reformed from rules dating all the way back to the 40s. I mean, there's issues around this. Nobody is really kind of doing anything that is higher up. We need Congress to step in. We need the CFTC to step in. Something needs to happen here. And we do see the platforms aren't following them. Non-compliance isn't the inevitable result of the crypto business model or underlying crypto technology. And again, we don't, I hate the fact that we have these individuals that don't understand crypto. I mean, does Gary Gensler actually understand crypto? Most likely. I mean, he's talked about it for a while. But I also don't believe that they're even trying to look into what crypto is actually doing and what they're trying to solve. I think that they have a broad idea of what crypto is, but they haven't really looked at anything here. The problem is that we are going to be seeing crypto exchanges being targeted. The problem that I have with this is that if you do see larger exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, etc. being targeted, it could ultimately cost this entire industry years. And yes, that's right, I said years. For an example, Coinbase going down would cost the entire industry roughly 3 to 5 years, because that would set us back extremely bad. We've seen a few things happening around Voyager, around Celsius. Yeah, these have stifled the growth of crypto, but not as bad as a company like Coinbase or Binance being targeted from the SEC. And we actually do see down here that crypto trading platforms also may act as market makers. It means that when you sell your tokens, one of the platforms may actually be buying on the other side. Stock exchanges don't do this. They don't serve as their own market makers because that creates inherent conflicts of interest. Again, this tells me that we will see crypto exchanges being targeted from the SEC. This needs to stop now. There's big issues around this. And also, talking more so about the SEC, the biggest argument around them has always been, of course, the fact that XRP has no utility. We do see here, is there anyone left apart from the SEC and some few sad Bitcoin maxi holdouts that still think that XRP has no real-world use case in remittances as a bridge currency? Shout out to Belisarius 2020 on Twitter for this. But we do see Tranglo, how on-demand liquidity works with Tranglo, and you do see XRP being at the forefront of this as the bridge currency bridge. This is huge. We've talked about, we've talked about Tranglo so much on this channel because they are such a big initiative to, XRP's utility, but also a huge stepping stone for on-demand liquidity corridors and connections to other major companies. They are a huge giant within Ripple. But also down here, we do see, of course, according to the SEC, transfers are being settled in seconds by a security. Tranglo, and scores of other Ripple partners and their customers must be part of the biggest common enterprise ever. It's absurd. And yes, this is the biggest issue. Like, you have the SEC deeming XRP as security. I actually should say, like, they're deeming every single coin except for Bitcoin as security at this point. This is an issue, though, because remember, there's a lot of companies out there within, like, even Ripple's, tech stack with a lot of their partners that are utilizing XRP. So you tell me that all of these companies are utilizing XRP as a security? It's an absolute absurd joke. And even Brad Garlinghouse said himself, we don't need the U.S. The SEC only constitutes U.S. boundaries. So they don't even care. And I don't think that any of us should care what the SEC has to say, but I will say this. I do care for U.S. innovation. And I do want to see a lot of these companies do business here, as this is a huge remittance market, a cross-border payment market as well, and there's a lot of business to go after here. But we need to have some sort of regulatory framework in mind before we, jump the gun and overreach massively with power that is obviously being utilized as an ego boost. And I do think that this is what Mark Cuban is also saying. Like, we need guidelines around crypto, because if we don't have these guidelines, what is there to follow? Nothing. This is an issue. And I don't think that, first off, like, even a lot of these major companies within the space, like even Ripple has said themselves, like, you cannot go about business like this. You cannot say, hey, let's meet on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, whatever the case may be. We're going to discuss our plans. You're going to say, hey, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden turn around and do a full 180 and say, hey, your business model is illegal. You have been transacting with a security, so we are suing you for X amount of dollars. To me, this entire SEC lawsuit since day one was an idea that, all right, well, this is an easy settlement. We'll have them, settle out for $1 billion, whatever, and they'll be on their merry way. But I don't believe that the SEC thought that Ripple was going to fight back. I don't think that they thought that this case was going to go on for this long. And I think that this should be a huge area of focus from anyone that is in crypto. It's not about XRP. Anybody that hates on XRP or even Ripple, you should be congratulating Ripple for continuing to fight the good fight, because they are here to not only fight for XRP, but to fight for every single digital currency within this space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As well as up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.